Yo, what's up everyone, this is Rajam here back with another video for you guys. In today's video, I will be talking about my final results, my final breakdown, my final understanding and playthrough and playstyle with the M1 Abrams in the IPM1 10.0 USA lineup. So today, I'm going to be talking about three main components. That is the tank's gun, main caliber, secondary calibers as well, and its armor, its maneuverability, its survivability, and anything else that I missed throughout this whole video. So first, we're gonna talk about the gun. The gun is a 105 millimeter gun. It was replaced later on throughout the history of its career. I mean, its service to the Army was replaced to 120 millimeter, as you see in the video. Yes, this is pre-recorded, and disclaimer, I apologize, I should have said this from the beginning. I might have background noise, I might have issues here and there, music probably too loud or too low, or the sound quality. I apologize if I made a mistake, but let's get back into the video as well. So 105 millimeter gun, is it good, is it bad? It is a tough question to answer. It is showing its obsolete moments, but it still have a good punching power to withstand. It can give out a good blow to the enemy. As you can compare the gun to the 105 Leopard 1 gun compared to this gun, it's a pretty strong gun. This tank was introduced, the M1 Abrams, the first M1 Abrams was introduced in 1980 or 1979, claiming. The IPM1 was introduced in 1984, so 4 years apart, not too far apart, in the same gun. As you can see, I'm showing the ammo types. You got two APFSDS, you got one HESH round, you got one heat round, and one smoke. All these weapons can be very valuable within battle. The first APFSDS is the M735 round. That's your stock round. It's pretty good, it's pretty average, it's not too powerful. Only problem with that gun is you cannot hit certain slope angles or something like that that you really need to get through. But other than that, this round is still very powerful from the side on, weak spots and stuff like that, because you're mainly going to use it for the turret ring, the breach, the lower front plate, or the side armor, or the rear armor, or the rear turret. Sometimes the side turret too. It depends on which vehicle you're shooting at. So the next round, I'm gonna go to APFSDS, then go to the other rounds that's somewhat obsolete, that shows more obsolete. So the next APFSDS is the M773 round. I apologize if I got that wrong. That round it has the same properties as the stock round, but it's much stronger in the angles, so it gives you that better chance of pinning angles with more success. So that round is going to be your go-to, but it is getting very expensive. And I did have a question that made me want to make this video today for you guys. Is it recommended that you use that expensive upgraded round, or just stick with the stock round because it can do almost the same amount of things? My suggestion to that person was, you need the M773 or 5 round. I apologize if I messed the name up. It's because it can help you at longer ranges and distance and still get that same penetration that you desire if you're in a head-to-head combat. Because when you get up down tier, you don't need that upgraded round. Mostly you can just use your stock round down tier. That's when you're into a like 9.3, no, 9.0 or 9.3, or sometimes 8. You will have 8.7 vehicles, but they got up tier to 9.0. You would not need to upgrade around. So I would say how I play it is, I don't show it in every video, but if I do have an option, if I was at 10.0 and I wanted to use the correct round, I would start off my round with the M735 round, the stock round. I would have about like 9 of those shots, or 10 to the most. That's when I'm at 10.0, not down tier or up tier. 10.0, I'm using 10 of those stock shells. when my upgraded round, I'm gonna have about like almost the same amount, around like 15 or 13 shots, if whatever comfortable to you. Then with heat shells, I have about like 6 heat shells or 10 heat shells. I go back and forth with it. Then smoke shells, I go with 5. I don't use the hash because it's very not valuable. You could use it against light armor targets, but it would not be reliable at most of the times. So real quick, let's talk about the down tier. You don't need any upgraded rounds in down tier. Probably a little bit of heat for those light armor targets. Then when you go to the upgraded round, you will need it for a top tier. So I will switch it up. So if I'm down tier, I will have majority more stock rounds than upgraded rounds. So I have about like 15 or more stock rounds. It depends what map I'm on and how far distant we are. Then I will have like about 5 upgraded rounds just in case you run into a Leopard 2A5 or a Leopard 2A4 or a T72B that recently just got added. And it would be a great matchup for you to keep going on. You can still have the same amount of heat shells, the same amount of smoke shells. It's just the upgraded rounds and the stock rounds that you mainly worry about. Then when you're up tier, you need the upgraded round. I know you don't want to spend that much money. I know it's very tedious how much you spend it into a match. Sometimes you don't even use all your rounds, but it will be needed in distance engagement and close range engagements. If you cannot get the flank on an enemy, if you cannot get a clean side shot, you need to use the upgraded round to get that head-on collision, get the breach, get the tracks. Get the lower front plate, get the upper front plate, get the neck or something. You need the upgraded round to get the good damage. So further ado, so that's my analysis on how to use the American US 10.0 with the main gun, and plus the shell types and stuff like that. So since we got the APFSDS out the way, let's talk about the heat shells. Heat shells can work, and it is best to use for light tanks. It could work for regular tanks, but it won't work. Okay, heat shells can work for regular tanks and light tanks. It's best used for light tanks because it's very hard to aim the heat shell from distance or from range when you first in the T80 or T72 or Leopard 2A4, 2A5. So I only use the heat shells for light tanks, especially when a recent update they have the sweetest update with these light vehicles that can pin you and have rapid fire and stuff like that. You need to tap them. Like as you see in this video, as I'm showing now, the APFSDS in both rounds, stock or non-stock, upgraded stock, they do not hold break. Maybe I think possibly in some of the new upgraded rounds on the 120 rounds. I think 120 millimeter caliber rounds can hold break, but for this Abrams, for some reason, whenever you shoot a crew member with the APFSDS to a light vehicle, it will not hold break. So you would need that heat shell to deal with those light targets, or they will do terrible damage to you. And as you can see here, no hold break throughout this video towards light light armor targets. And I tried to switch, but it was too late. I wanted to get these shots out quick, and it affected me a lot. So please take heat shell against light armor targets. You need about like 10, because you won't see that many light targets as much as you think you would. You'll see about probably 2 or 3 in a group. At range, you might need like 2 extra shots. You don't need that many shots to take care of them. Just in case you do have more, carry 10. So at 10.0 BR, just talking about 10.0, you need about like 10 or 9 or 11 stock APFSDS. Start off with that. Your secondary round is heat. Your heat need about 10 rounds or 6 rounds. Then your upgraded round is about like the same amount, 15 or 10. It depends whatever you comfortable with. The smoke rounds 5. I desire with 5 with smoke rounds because I don't want my tank to be full of ammo, and because they haven't really modeled it yet. I heard rumors that even the whole armor storage have a blast shield. So I don't know how that works. I believe it don't, but people have documents that it does. But on to the next subject. We're gonna talk about survivability as I drive my tank into the water. I don't know if the tank can actually do that, but that's just a video game. Survivability, the armor slash survivability slash removability is pretty good. As you can see here, just the armor value, like not the composite, 133. It got a lot of space between the composite is between the actual armor and the turret armor. You know, it's spaces between it, and in the space between it, instead of air, it's composite. So we will get to that part. This round, this tank, like armor wise, is pretty low in a way, because most of this targets, like as you down tier, of course the Leopard 1A1, the Leopard 1 cannot pin the turret or the lower front plate. I think the early 120 L44 cannon off the Leopard 2A4 cannot pin the turret, but can pin the lower front plate. And I think the stock small round for Russia cannot pin the turret or the lower front plate. And they're not gonna aim for that heavy spot. They're gonna aim for your weak spots. That's the turret breach, the turret ring, and sometimes the lower front plate if they got to upgrade around. You are a very threat to them because how quick you are, how maneuverable you are, and how survivable you really are. As you can see in the bottom right, I'm sorry for phone users if you can't see it. It's very small. I apologize. I try to make it, and I try to crop it as large as I can on PlayStation, but it won't let me. So your crew is very spaced out between all the MBTs in top tier. The only other tank that's really spacious, but I would say not survivable as much as this tank, is the Leclerc. The Leclerc is very survivable because of how spacious it is. But the bad part about that tank is it has low crew count. I apologize for that. So you can take a hit, you can survive, you can get away, you can fight another battle, but it's not as reliable as you think it could. But it is very survivable, especially when you turn sideways. It's very likely chance you get one-shotted. If you do, it's a learner. You got to keep learning where they shooting you at and how they shooting you. So for some reason, I think it's more angled. The left side of the turret on the lower side, from the rear point of view of the tank, is very more armored than the right side because of the angle. It's more angled than the right side. Maneuverability is the fastest tank. The IPM1 and the M1 Abrams is the fastest tank in American lineup. It's because it's, of course, the low gun, less armor. I don't know how that works into the game of analysis. It should all be the same engine or possibly more. I don't know for sure, but I would say for your survivability to keep fighting another fight, you have to get the first shot. Make sure the shot is critical to the enemy. Get the gunner, get the driver, get the gun, get the engine as fast as you can. You want to knock this tank out immediately. If you can, get the ammo shot. If you can, get the gunner and the loader, because most of all the other MPTs do not have a loadout as the American one. It got blast panels, it got spacious crew, it got maneuverability, very good maneuverability, great survivability, and this is, to me, is the best MBT for 10.0 lineup. And as you can see, it can carry on into the next 10.3 lineup, and this is why this tank is sitting at 10.0 instead of 9.7 or 9.3 as the other low caliber MBTs, such as the Leopard 1A1 or the other. I can't name all the rest of them, but I know some lower, new MBTs out there that have a lower BR than this one. Like even the new Leopard Type 72B have a low BR than this tank, and the reason for that is the survivability is very low. So if you do get one shot, it's because they knocked out most of your crew. They have a stronger gun. They can get through most of your armor, your turret armor, and they can get through that armor and get that ammo in the back of your turret. you can survive an ammo rack more likely than you think you would. It's possible. I've seen it done most of the time. As you can see, how maneuverable this tank still is, as my track still outran this opponent cannot deal with me how he want to, because he know I can still do a fatal blow to him. So I feel like I covered everything for you guys. I apologize if I missed anything. If you have any concerns about if I made a mistake here and there, please comment below. Let me know in the comments below. We could discuss this anytime. If you're new to this channel, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I would try to upload daily as much as I can. I do have a busy schedule and stuff like that, and I will work with you guys to make more content like this. I will be not talking about this tank anymore. I'll just be posting like regular content, fun moments and stuff like that with this tank. It's because I did go overboard making too many videos with the 105mm Abrams. It's because I enjoy this tank so much. But I will do another video for you guys, the M1A1 and the M1A2 lineup, and how it compares up to the top tier meta. But guys, you know, this is it. Most I can say to you guys is, you know, good luck to you who grinding the US tech tree. I will claim, you might disagree, it's my opinion, the best 10.0 lineup is American USA. American USA doing too much. Anyway, the reason for that is they have all the balance and needs that you need to win a match. Just don't use APFSDS towards light armor vehicles. That's it for you guys. Please stay tuned for the next one. You have a good day and be safe. Peace out. Next video, M1A1 top 10. Peace.